Wonderful, happy, happy music. We need injections of that kind of energy too, right? I hope you had delightful conversations and delicious refreshments during the breaks. It's now my great pleasure to introduce to you the Minister of Energy in Sweden, Ibrahim Baylan. Please give him a warm hand. Welcome to Gothenburg.
Thank you very much.
You will be the speaker of honor today at these awards. Why is the Gothenburg Award important at all?
Well, I think it goes without saying, with the challenges that we have ahead of us, I think it's very important to not just have a political debate, the big words, the big agreements. I think it's very important also to highlight the practical solutions that we already have, the technologies that are developed by initiated and engaged people, and to show that it's not only hot air, there is concrete solutions to the challenges that we have ahead of us.
Speaking of challenges, we have COP21 just 11 days from now, and you will obviously be attending together with Åsa Romson. What is your hopes? Tell us.
Well, we are in a lot of ways in worrying times. We have seen what has happened in Paris, what's happening in Sweden today. But I think COP21 is a glimpse of hope. A hope that even though we have huge challenges ahead of us, coming together, it is possible to solve these challenges. And in that we also create new possibilities, not only for the planet, but also for countries, for small countries, for big countries, and also give people the hope that it will be possible also in the future to live a good life, a comfortable life, a life with a great degree of liberty, and doing it in a sustainable way.
What can Sweden benefit, or what is the position for Sweden in this transition?
Well, I would say in many ways that we are in a situation where we have everything to gain and nothing to lose by being a pioneer. I mean, for a country like Sweden with a high degree of technological development, very good condition for renewable production or generation of electricity and energy, the use of energy. A lot of the solutions that we have, I think, could prove to be a part of what will give people hope. And of course, for us, I must confess, there is also great opportunities for exports of both services and goods, and for new jobs and economic development. I think we are just on the verge of a new industrialization in this country, and I'm actually very excited about it.
Terrific. Well, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, and winners of the Gothenburg Award for Sustainable Development. Let me begin by saying that I'm very happy to be here and to be able to address you during this prize ceremony, although I'm not seeing that many people here. That's a bit unusual, but here you are. This is in many ways a very important event, because as we discussed, we have big challenges ahead of us. Global challenges with a direct impact on the future of the planet. Or I would say, not so much for the planet, because the planet will be here even with or without human beings. Great challenges with a direct impact on the future of the human beings and other species on the planet, I would say. The biggest one, I would say, is the challenge of the global warming and the climate. I think one of the most important things for us to solve is the challenge of how we today supply and use energy. Because we know that energy today is behind 2/3 of the greenhouse emissions. It's also important to say that we should not and will not be blinded by the challenges. Because when I look ahead, I see also a lot of opportunities for change. Many of the solutions that the world needs are already here, or already and underway. Let me highlight a few examples from the world of energy. In energy, I would say that we can rightfully speak of an ongoing energy revolution. There is a shift in the market from large centralized production toward prosumers, flexible consumers, and smart grids. This is creating innovations, new solutions, and new business models. Let me take a few examples. The cost for solar PV and onshore wind has decreased rapidly. This has made electricity from renewable sources grow, and global net additions last year reached an all-time high, roughly 45% of all net additions in the world. The fast development in batteries and storage capacity in electric vehicles may soon lead to a revolution in the transport sector, which will benefit consumers as well as significantly decrease the environmental impact from transportation, a key issue in the global climate challenge. In many ways, as we were just discussing, Sweden is well positioned in this development. We have very favorable conditions for renewables, for wind power. This is a windy country all over the world, all over the year. Too windy sometimes. For hydro, in the new system, in the new renewable, 100% renewable energy system that we see ahead of us, hydro will prove very, very important, I would say. For biomass, biomass is already today, or bioenergy, I would say, is already today our greatest source of energy. That is not well known in this country, but it is. It is as big as hydro and nuclear together, although, to confess, it's not the same thing. It's for heating purposes and the other is for electricity, but still, we have around 140 terawatt hours of energy from biomass already. That creates a situation where we can be a long-term net exporter of renewable energy and energy services. Combine that with the fact that we are at the forefront on IT and services already today. Swinglish. And I think as equally important, we have also innovators and customers that are curious and interested in adopting new solutions and advanced technologies. Of course, not everything is sunny, especially not at the moment. We of course also have challenges in this country. As most of you already know, we have 10 nuclear reactors today that are providing us with 45% of our electricity. 4 of them are announced for decommissioning in the coming 4 years. And that, together with the owner's predictions that the rest will also be decommissioned in the coming decades, creates new challenges for us, of course. One of the most important is the one referred to as capacity adequacy. It means roughly that the most challenging things for us in a renewable system will be providing sufficient amount and quality of electricity at any given moment during the year, even during the coldest days in the winter. In Swedish, it's called effektfrågan. But one thing is true for Sweden as well as for the rest of the world. In order to meet these challenges, we need action. We need research and innovation. We need new solutions and cleaner, more efficient technologies. We need entrepreneurs. We need information. We need knowledge and a broad understanding of possible solutions. This makes the initiatives like the Gothenburg Award for Sustainable Development, very important. It serves to highlight not only the challenges, but the way courageous and motivated people have made big contributions to meeting these challenges. It shows that it is possible to do things that matter if you take the challenges seriously. Furthermore, the awards highlight a very important aspect, and that is that governments and companies can and do invest in research and development. Large efforts are already made to find and develop new solutions. But, and this is also equally important, this cannot succeed. It cannot make an impact if the new products and services are not introduced to the market and meet a consumer demand. And this means that we also need entrepreneurs. We need people that can inform the public and create an understanding and a demand for new products. In short, we need people like Dr. Jeremy Leggett. His books, his solar company, and his clean energy charity. We also need people like Professor Dr. Peter Hennicke that can give decision makers information and the arguments to be proactive, to make proactive decisions. And, ladies and gentlemen, we need local decision makers like Beate Weber-Schuerholz, who can act on this information and use the new technology solution to move a whole community forward. Solar energy and energy efficiency are two very important building blocks in the construction of a sustainable global energy system. As Dr. Hennicke showed early in his research, and the motto that Mrs. Weber-Schuerholz as well as Dr. Leggett has followed, the energy transition requires a combination of renewable energy and energy efficiency to be successful. I can only agree. That is also the Swedish experience. As for energy efficiency, the analysis of the International Energy Agency clearly shows that more energy efficiency in different sectors will contribute to over a third of the emission reductions necessary to reach the long-term 2 degrees limited targets. The same goes for the opportunity to achieve the EU objective of reducing the greenhouse gases by 80 to 95% in 2050. The analyses also show that extensive measures to improve energy efficiency need to be taken in the short and medium term before 2030 for long-term climate objectives to be achieved. As for renewable energy, solar energy is not our only option. It is, however, a renewable energy technology with dramatic decreases in cost and a large rate of investments. At the end of 2014, over 1% of the world electricity generation was supplied by solar PV. Add to that some of the most renewed respected investment banks predicts that in 3 years' time, solar will become the most competitive way of generating electricity in 80% of the world's countries. Unlucky for us, Sweden is not included in that analysis. Why? You could go out and you'll see why today. But of course, when the storage capacity has developed to such a degree that you can move energy from the summer to the winter, that will also be true for Sweden. But we are not there yet, and I think in a few decades we will be, but we are not there yet. Fortunately for us, we have a huge battery in hydro instead at the moment. So, today, my friends, we celebrate important achievement in facing the future. And I would like to express my heartfelt congratulations to the winners. Give them a warm hand. To conclude, we are in worrying times at the moment. We have a lot of challenges, short-term, mid-term, and long-term challenges. But as a species, we have shown again and again that we can meet the challenges and turn these challenges into new opportunities. I'm very proud to be minister in a country that has shown that already in the energy sector. I'm very proud to be part of a government that has already set its aim and to target a totally 100% renewable energy system the coming decades. To show, I know that will not solve all the problems in the world, but to show that it is possible to live a comfortable life with a high degree of liberty for its citizens, and doing that in a sustainable way, doing that in a better way than the fossil-dependent society ever could. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'd just like to give my best wishes. Let's just go Paris, push in Paris, and we've got your back. Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right.
Good to know. Good to know. Thank you.
Last year's winner, Paul Pullman, CEO of Unilever, has sent us a video greeting. But before we look at it, there is a way out. Oh, he's very athletic, our minister. Well, you say break a leg when you enter a stage, not when you normally exit, so, but you're okay. Paul Pullman, CEO of Unilever. I'll read out now why he was awarded, and I quote, "Through his leadership, exhibiting great courage and commitment, which inspires in a global corporate world where environmental and social values often are overshadowed by more short-term financial interests." This was the statement that was for last year's winner, Paul Pullman. And here is his video greeting. Please enjoy.
Well, hello everybody. Thank you once more for the great honor of receiving last year's Gothenburg Award. As I mentioned to you last year, I'm delighted that the Gothenburg Award will be donated to the Kilimanjaro Blind Trust in Africa, which allows it to expand its programs into Malawi. The Kilimanjaro Blind Trust was created in September 2005 when we took a group of 8 blind climbers to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. The Kilimanjaro Blind Trust's goal is to improve the lives of the blind and visually impaired children in Africa through improving literacy and education. With well over 20 million visually impaired youths globally and only 10% going to school, you can imagine that the need is urgent. KBT, or Kilimanjaro Blind Trust, not only focuses on the right to education, but more importantly, also ensures that all children in school have access to Braille machines, Braille paper, and increasingly qualified educational support. Since its inception, it has placed or repaired well over 12,500 Braille machines via a network of 170 technicians trained by the Kilimanjaro Blind Trust in Braille repair and preventive maintenance. Advocacy has also ensured more involvement of the governments concerned and obviously enhancement of the right to education for all. We are now actively working on a lower cost Braille machine to reach thousands more children, and equally importantly to ensure also that these children will be integrated in normal life by creating job opportunities. As I mentioned, the Kilimanjaro Blind Trust is in East Africa and currently operates in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda and Ghana. And with the support of this award, it will also now be expanded to Malawi. I want to thank you once more for your help. With your help, we actually can provide the tools needed for people like Marion or Obichi Chibola that you've seen in the video. If you're interested, go to the website www.kilimanjaro-blindtrust.org. Thanks and have a wonderful event. Thank you very much.
I also thank the Kilimanjaro Blind Trust for providing the two machines, and we are also hoping that they're going to provide more so that we can enhance our life in school and after school.
Wonderful. How very inspiring. Let's hope for more inspiring stories from this year's award winners next year that we can show. Talk about inspiration. Music coming up, more music. The band Slow Gold will be joined by the singer Timo Räisänen, very well known from television. And I know Timo is just putting out a new record, just like you are. You're putting out a record tomorrow called Glömska, Slow Gold. So please give Timo Räisänen a warm hand. Hello, Timo.
Hello.
You will be playing a song, it's actually one of my absolute favorites. And it's so top-notch, great for this day, because it's about sun, wind, and water. And it's a song composed by Ted Gärdestad.
Yeah.
And Timo, in terms about Gärdestad, you're putting out a record celebrating his birthday. He would have been 60 years old very soon. He has unfortunately passed away. Why Ted Gärdestad?
Well, good question. A friend of mine is a huge fan of his, and this friend of mine is also a musical genius, and he proposed to make a concert with me and a classical orchestra called Gothenburg Wind Orchestra. And I thought it was a lousy idea, because to me, Ted Gärdestad was like just summer and birds, and it didn't really have any depth, thought I. But I was proven wrong, and I was really proven wrong, because I went into some kind of psychotic, I don't know, I spent like 3 weeks listening only to Ted Gärdestad and like really...
Hence the album.
Yeah. Long story short, hence the album.
But Timo, Sun, Wind and Water, Sol, Vind och Vatten, it's a classic. And it was very important when we spoke very strongly about energy the last time during the anti-nuclear demonstrations at the turn of the late 70s and early 80s. And do you feel any sort of special connection with what's going on now in terms of these lyrics?
Well, I mean, this song is so multifaceted. It's
also about love.
It's about love, and it's about just having a good time. And you could argue that it's about God. But I think it definitely it has a connection to what's going on and sustainability, and he sings, or I will sing soon, that there's time for reconciliation before the day is over, and that I think is important, that we still have time to do something about the situation, but we have to get a move on.
Get a move on. Excellent. I'm going to move your microphone stand.
Note to self.
Note to self. Is this good for you?
Yeah, perfect.
Here we go. Please give Tim a raise and a warm hand. Take that.
Ännu spelar syrsor till vindarnas sus. Ännu rullar kulorna på skolgårdens grus. Och än strålar solen på brunbrända ben. Ännu ruvar fåglarna fast timmen är sen. Och det finns tid till försoning innan dagen är förbi. För jag tror friheten jag lever i. Och är det inte verklighet så drömmer jag. Sol, vind och vatten är det bästa som jag vet. Men det är på dig jag tänker i hemlighet. Sol, vind och vatten, höga berg och djupa hav. Det är mina drömmar vävda av. Jag vill veta vägen till hedarnas hus. Jag behöver ångest av en ledstjärnas ljus. Och det skymmer vid Sion och natten blir sval. Men än doftar blommorna i skuggornas dal. Och det finns tid till försoning innan natten slagit ut. Men jag tror att livet får ett lyckligt slut. Och är det inte verklighet så drömmer jag. Sun, wind and water are the best things I know. But it is of you I think when I'm all alone. The sun, wind and water, high above and deep below. That is what my dreams are made of. Is what my dreams are made of.
That was wonderful. I'm sure that I was not the only one who all of a sudden just became 14 and started singing. I hope my microphone was off, by the way. Wonderful. Thank you so much, and good luck with the record.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Timo. It's now time for the prize ceremony, and I'd like to ask all three winners, please, to join me on stage. And I think they need a note group on hand. Lotta Goethe is the chairperson of the jury for this prize. And she is part owner and chairperson of the board of Ecoplan. And Lotta is mainly active in projects promoting sustainable transportation and renewable energy. Lotta is also a member of the board of the Swedish Agricultural University. So please give Lotta Götte a warm hand. It's a bit of a ballet up here, so we take our positions right.
Yes,
So Lotta, please.
please. Thank you. I will read the award motivations for all 3 award winners, starting with Jeremy Leggett. Please join me up here. And this is the award. Jeremy Leggett has, through his long and devoted involvement in clean energy, stimulated both debate and action at a global level towards the development of a sustainable energy system. Leggett founded Solar Century, as we've heard today, one of the world's earliest solar panel companies. Thanks to Leggett's entrepreneurship and perseverance, Solar Century is today the UK's largest independent solar electric company. Leggett also founded Solar Aid, a clean energy charity which is the largest seller of solar-powered lamps in Africa. Through his tireless work to promote renewable energy, Leggett has made a remarkable and enduring contribution to the transition to a global low-carbon economy. Thank you.
Hey!
Well, thank you very much for this great honor, and I really do feel humbled by it, because the sad truth is that after all this time, now 15 years since I created Solar Century, I still don't know how to wire together a solar array. And so this is my point, that I do feel that I accept this award on behalf of the hundreds of people, mostly younger than me, mostly much younger than me, who do work and have worked for both Solar Century and Solar Aid, and so that you could get a feel for these wonderful folk and what they do. I think if you could permit me one anecdote from each company, just to paint the picture of what we've done together, and mostly what they've done, because like most people on boards, I sit in an armchair and don't actually do that much in the way of execution. But it's they who do, the engineers and others out in the field across Europe and Latin America and Africa for Solar Century, and of course the teams in the 5 African countries that we operate in for Solar Aid. So I think the first, actually 2 anecdotes for Solar Century, a cultural one to give you a feel for what this company has been like over the years. A while ago, a good few years ago, in the first phase of the company, we had a situation, as you do in business all the time, situations. And this one was weird because most of the marketing department, in fact, all the marketing department was female, and all the engineers, with one exception, were male, and they kind of fell out with each other in a really quite distressing way over the large budgets that were being spent on things by the marketing department that the engineers didn't approve of. And this got quite acute. And so we solved this problem, and it was an idea from within the team, and actually from one of the people in the marketing department, and she whispered in my ear, the way to solve this is to have mandatory salsa classes after work on a Friday. And that's what we did. And to extend that story, I'm thrilled to say that we're now on our 5th intercompany marriage. And so, as I always say to the team, you know, if we go bankrupt for some reason, like so many companies have over this adventure, then at least we will have succeeded as a dating agency. And then, of course, they're professional people, they're brilliant at what they do, and what they love doing most is schools and community projects. And we heard in the discussion from Beate, you know, about the importance of community projects. It's just wonderful to see. I mean, all our projects are enjoyable, but you know, I saw a recent community project in Britain and south of England. It was a £1 million project, and just a village had decided they wanted their own solar farm. They went ahead and did it. They raised £1 million, and we put the solar farm up for them, and it was totally seamless and just took weeks. And that's, you know, that gives you, when you see that, when you can smell the future that we've been talking about in our discussions, and then finally just thought about Solar Aid. It's at the other end of the spectrum. Here we're selling, it's a self-help charity. All the profits are endlessly recycled to the mission of getting rid of kerosene lanterns right across Africa, which of course is an entire category of fossil fuel use in an entire continent. We want to play a lead role in that. But you're selling a little solar lantern that can save a household. It's a microcosm of the energy transition. Can save a household. We know this, we measure it in 30,000 research interviews, follow-up in the field. We save a household $70 a year on average with just that replacement of oil burning. And this is what can be done now in the modern world. We know what they spend it on as well, the savings. School books, seeds, food, all the rest of it. So to see that, both the way that it plays with the people who you're helping, $70 is a ton of money when you're on $1 a day, you know? And also the way it fires up the young people who, you know, give up who invest some of their working vocational lives in going out and making this happen in the field, working with the African teams is wonderful to see. And so my very final thought is, in the new year, we have a new way of raising money to capitalize all this, and it will be selling solar lanterns of our own here in the rich countries for a slight premium. Some of the countries are going to need these, like Britain, where the lights are going to go off within a few years. And we're going to sell them at a premium. All the profits will go to Africa. And so, you know, this will begin in the new year for Solar Aid. And anyone here, you know, schools, companies, organizations, whoever, who would like to get involved in helping us with this and selling these useful lights, please just send me an email, jeremyleggett@solarcentury.com. It would be wonderful to have a group of people in Gothenburg so that I can remember this and also keep in touch, doing good work with some of you. Thank you so much for this honor.
Thank you. Thank you. I think you just inspired us all to do a little bit more, and that is the purpose of this award. Thank you. And now, Peter Hennicke, please join me up here on stage. We also have an award motivation for you. Peter Hennicke is a pioneer of the German energy transition, the Energiewende. As early as 1985, Hennicke had written the book, Die Energiewende ist möglich. Sorry about my German. The energy transition is possible. Over the next 30 years, Hennicke's research and participation in governmental expert groups greatly influenced the country's development. His work helped ensure that decision makers at different levels understood that both renewable energy and energy efficiency are required for an energy transition to take place. Hennicke has also consistently pinpointed and spoken out on the many benefits to the society that follow from such a transition. By managing to transfer these insights to an important audience of decision makers, Peter Hennicke, has inspired those in power to take the important steps needed to create a sustainable energy system in Germany, which in turn has become a role model for the world, as well as Sweden. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Yeah, thank you very much, Lotta. May I hand over this tiny world for a moment to you, because being celebrated with such a prestigious prize as the Gothenburg Award reminds me that I have to make a speech for 1 hour to convince you that it's a huge occasion for me to be here and a huge honor. And I thank you all very much for this really encouraging moment. So I decided to narrow my speech a little bit down and being not so eloquent like Jeremy, allow me to read it a little bit, but I assure you it's less than 1 hour. Especially being awarded with Beate and Jeremy is not only inspiring, but also in my understanding a strong signal. Since in a certain sense, we as a trio infernale represent the 3 pillars of an energy transition. There will be no Energiewende without a strong alliance of efficiency, renewables, and decentralized implementation. And let me add, we must not accept a trade-off between 2 mega risks. To get rid of both nuclear and fossil is not only a question of accountability for our children, but also a strong driver for sustainable solutions, and it raises competitiveness on a global scale for lead markets. Globally, energy and resource efficiency, renewable energies, and sustainable mobility are the largest lead markets of the future, with the potential growing from about 1.5 trillion euros today to more than 3.5 euros in 2025. Over the course of the last decade, Germany, as an early leader in advancing energy efficiency solutions, has slipped behind other European countries, and because of this is in danger of undermining its climate commitments and ambitious long-run Energiewende targets. And I dare to argue that Sweden also faces challenges ahead on the way to reach its efficiency goals. As has been mentioned, we wrote this book in 1985, The Energiewende is Possible. At that time, most people didn't believe in that vision. Now, it's official German policy. But a new message has to be established. The Effizienzwende, the efficiency revolution, is necessary. About 50% of global carbon dioxide emissions can and must be delivered by end-use energy efficiency and by more sustainable consumption and production. The good thing is that, in contrary to the situation in 1985, today we are not a tiny minority that is preaching this message. We feel strongly supported by a gradual change in attitudes from key bodies like the European Parliament and the International Energy Agency in Paris. Let me assure you, no market in the world is as complex as the market for energy efficiency and energy services. So we have to think about a new governance, a polycentric governance structure, to make it really happen, what is highly beneficial for our countries and for the future. We need national energy efficiency agency and give them the mandate and responsibility to reach ambitious and binding energy efficiency targets. With the removals of barriers and the right incentives of functioning markets for energy services, they will fly, and we will have the strong alliance between Jeremy and me and for the Energiewende. Driven by the momentum of the Sustainable Development Goals and of COP21 in Paris, sustainable energy and the 2-degree target are still within reach. So, thank you so much for this supporting momentum, not for me, but for the Energiewende, with this absolutely encouraging award from Gothenburg. And let me add this, gathering in Paris in the next weeks, the world leaders and all of us should send a strong, united signal against barbarism and for a sustainable future for humankind. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I was sorry.
And now it's time for our last but not least award winner, Beate Weber-Schuerholz, please. Beate Weber-Schuerholz laid the foundation for Heidelberg's leading position on energy efficiency among the cities of the world. During the period of her service as mayor, Beate Weber-Schuerholz demonstrated strong leadership and an ability to organize and inspire companies, local offices, officials, and citizens. She also emphasized the economic and environmental benefits of energy efficiency. Through cooperation with local business, leadership of the local authorities' energy supply company, and financing of energy-efficient buildings and heavy investments within public transport, Heidelberg reduced its CO2 emission by 30% over the period 1993 to 2007. The momentum of her leadership during this period lives on for today. Heidelberg continues to be a role model within energy efficiency. It has, for example, the world's largest stock of passive houses. Thank you. Thank you.
This is like holding the whole world in your hand. Well, it's a lot of responsibility. I would have the wish that everybody feels like that this is handed over to every and each one of you, because it's all of us who are the change. It's not others. And I think that's the most important message that I want to thank the city of Gothenburg and the jury for. That the message is that we owe, all of us hold the future in our hands, and every single one is responsible for the change. It's not others who do it. And that's why I also want to thank all those I've got wonderful ideas from, but not only great scientists and personalities I met here and at other places. It's my colleagues, the mayors all over the world, from the tiny little town in Africa and the very big ones in China, or the ones in Latin American villages. And they all have great ideas, and you profit from that. And then this all wouldn't be possible, and you mentioned that too, without the people who really do the work. Because you can throw a ball, and nobody takes care of fetching it. So if you have an administration, like as a city mayor, you need wonderful employees and colleagues in your city administration, in your public utilities, in the schools and the kindergartens, who transfer the message to the ones they are responsible for and to the work they are responsible for. And so only like that, it's this snowball effect you all want, that an idea suddenly becomes reality. And all that has been done is not yet enough and not yet sufficient, as we all know, to keep this world a wonderful place with a high quality of life for everyone. And so such an award should never be the end of a story, but the beginning of the story, and I like to understand it like that. Thank you very much to the city of Gothenburg.
Thank you.
And now, a fanfare for the winners. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'd now like to ask all participants that were on stage before to come back on stage. We need to see you all up here, please. Alan too, obviously, absolutely. And now, a warm thank you to all the participants, the award winners, and also to yourselves for continuing this very important work. And thank you, Lotta, for heading the jury. Thank you. Music, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just a final sentence. The work with the Gothenburg Award for Sustainable Development will continue. And I hope so will the good work, the wonderful work of these people, and these people here, and also you in the audience. So let's now look at you bringing out these shining globes into the world. And until next year, take care of yourself and the planet. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.